Hello guys, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to show you how we can run Gitea application inside a Windows Docker container. So Gitea is a painless self-hosted Git service. It is similar to GitHub and Bitbucket and GitLab. So Gitea is a fork of Google's Docs project, and you can have a local and self-hosted Git repository for yourself. And this application very useful, guys. Just give it a try. So now we'll go through the Docker file, and then we'll try to build a Docker image from it, and then we'll try to run a container from the created image. All right, let's go to the Docker file. So this is the Docker file that we are going to use to create the Gitea Docker image, and then we'll try to run a Docker container from this image. So let's always first line is from instruction. We are taking the base image as this one, and then we are trying to download the gitea.exe file from this location, and we are storing this .exe file inside the Docker container at this location with add instruction. Okay, and also I'm using the add instruction to copy file from localhost operating system to inside the Docker container. All right, and also with this run instruction, we are downloading the Chocolaty package manager inside the Docker container. So this is the first time we are installing the Chocolaty package manager inside the Docker container. We can use this command to install the Chocolaty. And once the Chocolaty software package manager is installed, we are installing the Git with this command, choco install Git, and make also we are installing. All right, and then we are running. We are adding the Git inside the path to execute the Git commands from anywhere inside the Docker container. And also we are creating, we are making a working directory as C Gitea. So this work dir instruction, when you run the Docker container from this image, first it will try to connect to this folder itself. That is the reason we are specifying work dir, and we are specifying a volume. So this volume we are going to mount inside our host operating system, and we are setting some environment variables, and we are exposing 30,000 port because Gitea application will listen at this port. And we are running a instruction, cmd instruction inside the Docker container, that is gitea.exe, and we are passing some argument called web. So with this command, we'll try to run a Gitea inside the Docker container. And we have one application .ini file. So in this file, we are making some configuration parameters inside this file. So root is to store the repositories, and Gitea custom is to store the configurations. Okay, let's try to build an image from this Docker file. Let's go to the PowerShell, and I'm inside this Gitea folder. Here you can see app.ini file is there, Docker file is there. Let's build an image from this. Docker build -t my Gitea is the name that I want to provide to this image. It started the building. Build process is started. Here you can see. So now it is installing the Chocolaty package manager inside the Docker container. And now it is installing the Git and make software as well. There you go. The build process is completed and you can see the success message. Let's validate Docker images. Here you can see my Gitea images built just now, 14 seconds ago. Now we'll try to run a Docker container from this image, Docker run -it, and then we'll try to assign a name to this, win underscore Gitea underscore container, and then a host name, win Gitea container, and then -p. I want to map the host operating system port 3000 to the container port 3000, and I want to mount a volume. I am creating a named volume over here, and that I want to mount inside Gitea location. And then finally the image name, my underscore Gitea. There you go. It just started the service, and it is listening at 3000 port, and then go to the browser and browse with this port number. Let's use localhost :3000. Okay, so this is the by default home page, landing page for the Gitea application. So first initial time we need to register for this, and then we'll try to log in, and then we'll try to utilize the Gitea application to store your repository. And then first of all, we need to configure something inside this Gitea application. If you click anywhere inside this page, it will navigate to the install page, and at this page you can see it requires a database to store the data, right? So we have already PostgreSQL database container is already running. We'll try to utilize this container to connect from the Gitea application. Let's go to here, and here you can see the database settings. So the compatible databases are MySQL you can use, PostgreSQL you can use, MS SQL, which is Microsoft database that you can use, SQLite 3 database also you can use. So we have PostgreSQL database, and we are utilizing this database to store our data inside it. And first of all, so we'll try to create a database with this Gitea user inside the PostgreSQL container, and then we'll come back here and then we'll pass the credentials. Let's go to the pgadmin console, and then first we'll try to create a user. Create username is Gitea user, and then the definition, and here we can specify the password for this user, and then privileges. So can log in, yes, we have to provide this one. And is this user is the super user? So if you want to create a super user, you can enable all these options, right? So for now, I don't want to go with any other options. That's the reason I'm clicking on save. Here you can see Gitea user is created just now, and then go to the database section and then create a database. Create database, and the database name is Gitea. And the owner of this database is, I want to utilize, assign this ownership to the Gitea user. And then the definition, security, and we don't need to provide any information over here, and then click on save option. All right, so with this editor you can see how many server sessions are there, how many transactions per seconds are there. Basically you'll get all the performance related information which is related to your PostgreSQL database. You can see how many block IOs are there, how many tuples are there, what are all the events, everything you can see. All right, so here you can see the database is still not yet created. All right, so the database initialization creation is completed. Here you can see the database is up and running. Let's go to the Gitea application, and then here you can see we need to specify the host name, or else you can use this same name, or else you can provide the private IP of your host operating system. Let's try with this loopback IP and git whatever the user that you have created over there. It's Gitea_user, and then the password is password I just provided, and this is the database name. And we don't have any SSL configurations. That's the reason we are disabling this SSL configuration. Here you can see site. So I'm changing this Prasad personal Git. That's it. And so where you want to store the repositories. So I want to store the repositories at this location. Gitea repositories. And by default LFS root I just want to provide. So I want to go with the run as username is container administrator, and SSH server domain is I want to utilize the private IP of the host operating system. So we can get IP config. So this is the IP of my Windows server. I will utilize instead of localhost, I want to use the SSH server domain is this one, and then Gitea base URL is I want to specify the private IP of my host operating system. All right, if you want to configure any notification system, you can utilize this email settings. As of now, we don't have any SMTP servers. That's the reason I'm not configuring any other options. So that's it for this configuration. Let's go and click install Gitea. If you provide all the information correctly, then it will configure. Something is not accepting. So it's not accepting the loopback IP. So instead of that, just try to utilize the host operating system port and then give it a try. There you go. It's just taking all the information and it configured. So let's go back to the PG admin 4. And this is the fresh database that we have created just now, right? Just click on the schemas and then go to the tables. Sorry, go to the tables. There you go. So many tables created inside the database. That means the Gitea Docker container, Windows Docker container, is utilizing the PostgreSQL database Windows Docker container. So the connectivity is already there, and we just created the database inside it. And with the Git application, we can able to communicate with the database container. All right, let's try to create a register first. Username, I'll provide Prasad. Email address is prasad@example.com. And then the password is password. And then retype password is register account. Okay, so it is asking to provide the complex password. Let me enter the complex password. And then register. There you go. So this is looks like a GitHub and a GitLab, right? So as of now, we don't have any repositories. Just click on the repository. And then here you can click the plus button. Not like that. We'll try to utilize this one. So repository name is we'll do like this: Docker Windows, and then the description is this repository contains information about the Docker Windows containers and template labels, git ignore. I don't want to specify any. and readme just default, and then initialize the readme and then create repository. So this is how we can create these repositories, and then we'll try to clone this repository inside my host operating system, and then I'll try to upload the files to this location. And to clone this, you can use the HTTP method as well as the SSH method as well. I'll try to use the HTTPD method. Copy this and then go to the PowerShell. And then here I want to clone this repository. So Git is already installed in my host operating system. Let's try to clone the repository, git clone, and then the repository. Let's copy one more time. There you go. It just cloned inside my host operating system. ls, sorry, not ls is, it will work. Then go to cd docker windows. It's just an empty repository, right? Let's do one thing. Let's try to copy the files. What I'll do is I'll open a folder. I'll try to open the file inside this Visual Studio Code Editor. All right, I'll try to create a file that is Docker file. And also I'll try to create one more file called, so this repository is related to, okay. So let me do one thing. I will delete this file. And then let's try to copy all the files and folders that we have. So the Docker file and PGSQL, copy it and go to C drive and then go to the Docker windows. Here, just try to create a folder. That is PostgreSQL, and then try to open it, paste it. Okay, the existing files only I'm utilizing. So whatever the repository that we have cloned, I have made some changes to this folder. If you see, PostgreSQL folder is there. If I check git status, here you can see. So as a normal git repository, we can execute all the commands. First add all the changes and git status. So the changes are added to the staging and then commit it. Git commit hyphen, sorry. Yeah, git commit -m, add PostgreSQL files. All right, so we need to configure email and the user. So let's try to configure this quickly. I want to use the real email ID. And then username also we need to configure. All right, let's do one thing. Git status, still the files are in staging, and commit with the same message. It just committed, check the status. So work tree is clean. Let's try to push it to the repository, and it is asking for the credentials, right? So let me enter the credentials that we have created. Just provide the credentials. Once it is completed, it will try to push the changes to the repository. Let's go to the browser and go to the Gitea. And as of now, we don't have any files and folders here. Just try to refresh. There you go. All right. So whatever the changes that we have created, here you can see. It looks like a GitHub, right? Let's try to utilize this Gitea application, guys. And it is very useful. You can create, you can use whatever all the functionalities that are available at GitHub. You can also get with this Gitea application as well. So I hope it's clear for you. So how we can run the database inside a Windows container, and then how we can run an application inside the Docker Windows container, how to connect together to utilize, right? So whatever I have promised, I recorded all the videos, and this is the last video in the series, guys. Thank you for watching all the videos, and thank you for bearing with me. I hope you learned something which is related to the Docker when it comes to the Windows environment. And if you want to learn any particular topic when it comes to the Windows Docker containers, just leave your comment in the comment section. Then I'll try to make a video on the topic, and then I'll try to upload the video. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Let's learn together. Bye for now.